Happy Wednesday. Playoffs. Sixers tonight. Sixers in heat. This is the Anthony Gargano Show. We're presented by Rite Aid, your neighborhood pharmacy. Visit your local Rite Aid today. Stock up on allergy relief or catch up on immunizations for RSV, shingles, and more. Walk in or schedule a vaccine appointment at riteaid.com. And it all starts tonight. Now, oddly, I don't know if this is good or bad, but I feel completely calm. I just put my hand out and it's not shaking. It's completely still. I have just completely calm as the Sixers begin this iteration of the playoffs. Number 7 in post-process. This is it. Maybe it's the lucky 7 of the post-process runs. I don't know. I look at it tonight. The betting line, Sixers were up to a 5.5-point favorite. They were at 4.5. Now it's up to 5.5. No Rozier tonight. He's still out with that neck injury, and he's not playing for Miami. It feels like a Sixer game tonight. It feels like they're going to win tonight. Now, obviously, it's a must-win because you have to avoid Boston this early. At all costs, you have to avoid the Celtics. Now, if they do win, game 1, oh my God, I love this time of the year, against the Knicks, Saturday night, 6 o'clock at the Garden. That's the schedule. If they win tonight, Sixers-Knicks, game 1, Madison Square Garden. And when we look at it, and we have said this, we have talked about it, we'll continue to talk about it all day. Kyle Neubeck will join us in about 20 minutes. We have Danny Green coming on at 10 a.m. I'm really looking forward to talking to Danny. He played for Nick Nurse. Obviously, he's on this team. He's going to give us some great insights into the Sixers. I'm very excited to talk to Danny about that. So that's coming up straight up at 10. You don't want to miss that. So let's kind of put a cap on what we've been talking about, really, since Joel came back. He has gotten his minutes up, right? We saw him, I think, max 36. He looked good. I know there was the scare on Friday night, and he sits out Sunday, but he's going to be all right, right? Like, he's fine. He's ready to go. And this iteration of the Sixers is an interesting group because, again, we talked about the effects of Embiid's co-stars, whether it was Simmons, who was flawed and who had issues with temperament, or whether it was Harden, who was obviously Hall of Famer, great player, but flawed when it came to big moments. His game flawed, that when he couldn't shake his man, when there were issues, he sagged, he moped. And I think that mope was catchy. I think that affected Embiid, right? Like when you're the guy with the ball in your hands is constantly prone to those big whims. I don't think that's good. And that's where Maxey comes in. Whatever Maxey is, he's even keeled, right? Maxey is all about playing with joy. He's obviously dangerous. He obviously is a legitimate co-star to Joel. It's Embiid's team. We know that. But Maxey is his true superstar, a true star next to him, right? So you feel good about that. You have Kelly Oubre. You have taken the pressure off of Tobias from an offensive standpoint. So you like that piece of it. No Melton tonight. So you'll see Batum. They're role players, including Buddy Hield and Cam Payne. Interesting, right? Like they're a much deeper team. They're a much more balanced team than they have been in the past. Look, we've said it time and time again about the Celtics. They are incredibly talented. They're a very good team. But let's push that down to the end of the May, right? Let's look at May for the Celtics. Win tonight, and there's a really good chance you can get out of the second round. I'll tell you one thing. If they, assuming they win tonight, I would be crushed, and I'll say again, if they didn't get out of the second round. This is the year they get out of the second round. You get out of it, you go to the Eastern Conference Finals against the Celtics. Who knows, man? The way, if Embiid's playing at the time, see how Boston's faring. The fresh legs should help him come the end, once you hit May and that grind of the playoffs, series and games, every other night, high pressure, high stakes, high minutes. At that point, that should help Embiid having all this stuff. So I feel great. And then, we've talked about him a lot. The X factor is Nick Nurse. And looking forward to talking to Danny Green about him because he played for Nick in Toronto. And again, Doc did some good things here with Maxey and developing that elbow shot from Embiid, his kill shot. But Nurse is a tactician. He's an in-game strategist. And that's what you need in the playoffs. Best coach, best strategist since Larry Brown that has been here. So they're equipped to make a run. I would be, again, crushed if they did not. Well, beginning of the show, we have to pay homage to the Ranger, who did something remarkable in this era of baseball. A complete game. Yes, a complete game. He went 9 strong, a shutout. When do you see a complete game shutout? He was marvelous. We all said about the Phillies, when we looked at the Phillies team, we looked at, all right, what's the difference for this team? And I remember saying it. We've agreed it. Jim Salisbury said it right here with me. He said it again last night with Jamie and Renee. It's all about Ranger because Ranger has this incredible upside. And you saw it last night against a Rockies team where he completely shuts them down. 1 walk, 9 strikeouts, only 4 hits, 8 strikeouts, only 4 hits. I mean, what a marvelous, marvelous performance. So if you get Ranger dealing like this, and he's been terrific to start the season, eating up innings. Nola eats up innings. Wheeler has been terrific, even though he's got no run support. So with that top 3, let's go. That's your best rotation. That's your best 1, 2, 3. With Ranger pitching like that, the way Suarez looks, that's your best 1, 2, 3 really in the National League. So, we'll discuss that. It's worth watching. Phil's 10-8. We said it yesterday, and the hope is that they leave the 500 mark in the rearview mirror for the rest of the year. That's it. So now they're 10-8. You finish with the Rockies again tonight. Bryce, homer, double, 3 ribbies. So a good performance out of Bryce last night. So the Phillies, look, I know the Braves keep clubbing their way and keep winning, but look, no Strider at some point will catch up to them. And I do think it's a Phillies division. It's a Phillies NL East. And lastly, to start the show, we play taps on the Flyers season. It was interesting last night for a while. The Canadiens were up 4-3. They were up 3-2, right, against Detroit. We needed the Montreal to beat Detroit. So it's 3-2, then Detroit ties it. And then Montreal goes up 4-3. And meanwhile, it's frantic, right? It's 1-1 Flyers Caps, and they have to win in regulation. And it was funny. I was at baseball practice, and everybody's talking about it. All right, everybody's going, wow. And it was actually fun. I have to tell you, it was fun to actually care about NHL scores in April. And it's been a while for that. And then, of course, the Ghost. I got to get on JP for him conjuring up the Ghost. That's what it was. It was The Conjuring by JP, right? And he brings up the Ghost. The Ghost score. It sets up the winning tying goal, 4-4. Doesn't matter. Washington wins, open and the empty netter. So there you have it. Flyers season ends. And we'll put a bow on them at some point. And then we have to touch perhaps some of the biggest news out there. We have the Sixers, but this story that's about to drop from Jeremy Fowler is fascinating. ESPN. It's a story about Bill Belichick. And we'll dive deep into it later in the show. But the story says basically that Bill Belichick is going to spend a year off working for the Omaha and the Manning cast. So he's going to take the year off, and then he wants to get back into coaching. And he listed 3 teams: the Giants, the Cowboys, and the Eagles. Wow. If that doesn't put pressure on Nick Sirianni this year, nothing will. All right. So we'll dive into that. We'll kind of look at the realistic notion. Now, interestingly, of the 3, in the piece by Jeremy Fowler on ESPN, it looks as the Eagles is one of the most viable. So we'll dive in deeply into that. That is popping off. Brought to you by Olipop. Find your favorite Olipop flavor at your nearest Wawa. Wow, man, lots to talk about, but we begin with the Sixers. JP, sing it! Sing the song,
Let's
JP!
go! Aplauda los manos, todo el mundo, para Filadelfia. 76ers, pisar tus pies, todo el mundo, para Filadelfia. 76ers, let's go!
There he
it's
is.
Game day.
JP!
Let's get
on
it.
the vocals, doing a great job. JP, John Zapata, Violations Greg, part of the clubhouse as we hang out. Guys, I wanted you here today for a reason. It's a big Sixer day you guys are wearing. Sport your Sixers. I love it. How are we feeling? JP, I'll start with you. Do you feel calm about tonight? Are you at all afraid? Do you feel spooked? Butler, the Heat, Spoelstra. What's your mindset?
You know, it's funny because like before going live today, I saw on Twitter that GIF, that famous GIF, like that Grand Theft Auto character walking towards the Wells Fargo Center. It's like, oh crap, here we go again. But because in all honesty, I feel excited. Like this is a good opportunity here. I just saw news as well. No Scary Terry for the Miami Heat. That bodes very well for the Sixers as well. But this is it, right? Like this is what we've been talking about. You want to avoid Boston. And for me personally, obviously we know this is a must win, but you have to feel excited with what's going to happen here tonight.
Yeah, the excitement, it's a big game, so you're going to be excited. But my question is, are you nervous? Like, because I feel I have zero doubt.
No,
I think they win, and I got to tell you, that sometimes scares me when I have zero doubt. But I feel good about tonight. VG, how you feeling?
I feel great. I mean, we got a guy in the chat room already.
You're a bundle of nerves.
Yeah. Sean,
you have anxiety.
Sean in the chat room has, he said he's scared. I've offered one of my dogs for tonight for him to have because I feel great. In Nurse, we trust. The issue that they've had a lot of times, it feels like with the Heat, is that zone drives them nuts. And I think Nurse is the guy that's going to come in and make the adjustments on that.
It's a great point. But not only is the Nurse aspect, but there's legitimate shooters, right?
Yeah.
You look at how Embiid's his touch is ridiculous, right?
Ridiculous.
Right? It's completely ridiculous. Maxey, right? You got Healed. You got Oubre.
Yeah.
You got even Batum can knock down a triple for you. You got guys that are zone busters.
Yep.
That's something that this team has never had. Remember during the Simmons era, right? Like it was the big fear. You go to a zone. Oh no, there's no zone bust. That's why you had to try out Korkmaz, right?
Mm-hmm.
You don't need that. You now I think they're equipped. That's why I don't fear him, and I don't fear Jimmy either. I mean, I will do respect to Jimmy.
Yeah,
especially now, it's all him.
There's a lot of I went to the Phillies game, made it to the pub last night for the end of the Flyers, and someone brought up Jimmy, and I was like, bleep Jimmy. And the younger bartender was like, you can't say bleep Jimmy. Jimmy's all right, he's this. We love Jimmy. Jimmy's an assassin. It's like
He's also a Heat right now.
Yeah.
I got news for you.
I'm over it this year.
Yes. And here's the thing. We don't love Jimmy. All right? Bleep Jimmy is right.
Yeah.
That's exactly the right attitude.
And his
I agree.
minivan. Get that minivan out of here.
I don't want to hear Jimmy. I don't want to hear any waxing nostalgic about Jimmy. You The only Jimmy in this town is Jimmy Rollins.
Preach.
Right? That's it. When they play that gif of Ray Liotta in the shower, Goodfellas, he's going, Jimmy! Jimmy! You did it! That's Jimmy Rollins, not Jimmy Butler. All right?
Yeah, the city's excited. It's palpable coming through to get here. You know, Old City, Northern Liberties. I must have seen 7 or 8 hoodies, Sixers hoodies. Everyone's geared up this morning, walking with their kids.
Yeah, walked in the elevator today.
Like, this is something that I love, right? Like, it's how we celebrate big games, like we're in this. This goes to our active fandom, not passive. Like, you know, everybody's wearing the hoodies, everybody's excited, everybody's fired up. I was on Fox Good Day this morning from the practice facility, where it's, you know, everybody's excited and talking about, like, it's all in. We go all in. So, and I think there's a good reason to go all in now.
Get your car flags out. We're ready to make a run.
Started. That was the thing. The car flags back in that era. In the 2000.
I hear.
That was a big deal.
So I hear.
It was. Real quick, before we get to Ranger. Dude, there's a Conjuring 4. You conjured up the ghost. I blame the Flyers' loss on you, JP.
100%.
I deserve everything that's coming my way. I don't know what I was thinking, ladies and gentlemen.
You conjured him.
My good heart got the best of me.
Yeah, who knew he had this
4
kind
seconds.
of mystical
what
powers?
Was it, 3.3 seconds?
3.3 seconds.
Are you kidding me? And again, it didn't matter because Washington scored, and won. But
yeah, I mean, all jokes aside, like, listen, it's definitely, listen, I said it yesterday. It's all fun and games here today to come at me, but like, the fact of the matter is, the Flyers couldn't score. Like, if there wasn't even a goalie there, they probably couldn't even score. That's just how it was last night. Like, they had 20.
Ben Simmons. No, what's a better option? Ben Simmons scores in an empty gym, or the Flyers score on an empty net on the power play.
That's good. That's good.
That's good. Let's take odds on that.
They need to do a new rule where you have the option of declining penalties in the NHL. So the Flyers say, we're good. No, we don't want to bring the power
ironically enough, there was only one power play between both teams, and the Flyers power play actually looked the best I've seen it the entire season.
Yeah.
But they didn't score a goal.
Yeah. I mean, honestly, let's face it. I mean, we know that what they need a top line. This is a team without top line.
A bunch of forwards.
Right,
man. Oh, and he played last night too.
Yeah,
he played,
that bastard. Yeah,
finally made his debut.
Yeah,
but
bleep him too.
Well, you touched on it. It was great. It's been years. Like, I rushed to the pub to see the third period. I'm score checking and just playoff hockey. It had that vibe, man. There's nothing like it, and I just miss it terribly in this town.
Well, you know what's funny too? Like, we had baseball last night, so Little Moss had a game, and then he had practice, right? So he had a Little League game, and he had his travel practice. So I'm at practice it's 8 o'clock to 9:45. So it's right during the teeth of the game, and me and a couple of the dads are like on our phones because I can't watch it on my phone because of the Comcast thing. So
what is up with that? It's so
frustrating.
I know, because I want to watch it on my phone.
I know exactly what you're talking about.
Right, and I have it.
Not on your home network.
Right?
Yeah. Get out of here with
that.
Right,
you got to be on your home network to get it. And so I'm like, oh, man. So I'm watching the Gamecast on ESPN, and I'm, like, what's going on? 4 minutes to go, 1-1.
Yeah.
Did they pull the goalie?
Yeah. What are you doing?
Can't tell, right?
They pulled it like 5 minutes left in the period, I believe, in the third period.
Well, they do it earlier now,
I mean, John Cooper, when the Lightning were here in Philly, they pulled it like 9 minutes left in the game. In the third.
Yeah. So, do you believe it? Listen, you get a face off in the opposing circle. You take your chances.
Yeah, I mean, listen, it was fun, but it's clear like they just need more top end talent. I mean, when you have all those opportunities last night, you just can't bury the puck. It's just evident.
Michkov, like, that's what it comes down to, because you need stars.
Yeah.
You need stars.
He needs a supporting cast too when he gets there.
Yeah, without doubt.
And
there's a lot of work to do.
Yeah,
well, so here's the controversial moment of last night. I want to get your thought of it. So in the third period, Torts only went with 9 forwards, right?
Yeah.
The 2 best players of the night were kids, Frost and Brink, and he decides to bench them in the third.
Yeah.
You need offense. I get it. Like, you want that veteran leadership out there, but those 2 kids were providing the most offense.
I agree with you. I thought that was a mistake.
Hey, violation on the Phillies last night for not having any updates on the Flyers game while I was down there. Throw it up on the board.
Real quick, though. Can we all throw some love Rangers' way? I mean, when do you see a complete game shutout.
Yeah.
In this era,
And
right? Like,
was there any better ending than just the dribbler back to him? He
Oh.
casually just grabs it like he's hanging out on the park with the
well,
his
because
buddies.
that's his mentality, right?
Yeah.
The blood pressure, always low, always calm.
Yes.
You know, I mean, I feel like Ranger with the Sixers tonight, just calm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They might have 3 all-star starting pitchers.
Dude,
It's
it's
pretty crazy.
Dude, it really. I mean,
Excited.
you think about if he's dealing like this, and we knew that there was a ceiling. Like he's got some room
Yep.
to grow, and you wonder if you can get this out of him, they're going to win the division.